Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about additive and multiplicative relationships. So an additive and multiplicative relationship, one, consists of variables, okay, and independent, which is the x. I'm doing something to the independent to get y, our dependent variable, and we talked about those yesterday, okay? Here's how they look. You will see additive as being added, something that's more than, increasing, and then as an equation, it's going to look like this. I have my variable x plus my constant, which is whatever I'm using to add each time to get my dependent variable, which is y. Okay. Multiplicative, it's going to look just like this, where I'm multiplying something. Okay. It's going to use the word times, each, every, things like that. And then you're going to see the variable, our independent variable x, combined with something that I'm doing each time, getting my dependent variable y. Okay, so here's what it looks like. In an additive relationship, you add the same quantity to the independent variable, which is x, to get the dependent variable y. So I'm doing something to x to equal y. Okay. In this one, to look on a graph, it will not cross the origin. Origin is down here at 0. It will not touch that, okay? Because when I have 0, if I'm adding something to 0, it's not going to give me 0. It's going to give me something more than that. So my x, I'd go over 0 and then up 2. It will not land on 0, okay? And then, so for example, Owen is 2 years older than his sister Greta. So when Greta's not even 1 yet, Owen's going to be 2. When Greta turns 1, Owen turns 3. Okay, I'm adding 2 each time from x to get to y. Okay, so let's do some examples. Number 4. Rachel started with $6 and decided to save $1 each week. Okay, so I have the amount of weeks and the total saved. So on the first week, she started with $6. On the first week, okay, if she's saving $1 each week and she's starting with 6, that means she's going to have $7 now. Okay, so I'm adding 6. Week 2, okay, I'm adding $6, and now I'm going to end up with $8 saved now. Week 3, I add my $6 that I started with, and then I have 9 that I've saved up, okay? So our equation is going to be the total, well, actually, let's do the amount of weeks plus 6 gets me my total saved, okay? Whatever week we're on, plus the 6 that I started with, gets me the total that she saved, okay? And then describe the rule in words. W plus 6 is our total. So there are number of, let's do number of weeks. Number of weeks plus 6 is going to give us our total. Okay, now let's put on the dots. The table here gives you your ordered pair. So our first ordered pair is 0, 6. I go over 0, up 6. On the x-axis, I go over to 0, oh, right here, and then up 6. Notice I did not start, my dot is not on 0. That's what makes it additive. Next, over to 1, up to 7. Over to 2, up to 8. Over to 3, up to 9. Okay, over 3, up 9, over, up, okay? Very nice. Okay, so next one. Devon is creating rectangles. The length of the rectangle is always 4 more than the width, okay? So he's creating rectangles. The length of the rectangle is always 4 more than the width. So what if I don't have a width? Well, then my length is going to be 4. Realistically, that probably won't happen. But for the sake of the graph, we're going to use that. If I have a width of 1, okay, it's always going to be 4 more, so then it'll be 5. 2, I have 4 more than that, that'll be 6. 3, 4 more than that, it's going to be 7. Okay, write an equation. Well, I have my width plus 4 gets me my length. Okay, so width plus 4 is the length. Let's go ahead and put our dots. Over 0, up 4. Over 0, up 4. Over 1, up 5. Over 2, up 6. Over 3, up 7. Okay, notice it does not start at the origin. That is what makes it additive. Okay, now let's do multiplicative. Now multiplicative, this one does start at the origin. So I'm going to see that 0, 0 there. Okay, and it's going to be increasing at a pretty rapid pace. In our additive, it was kind of steady, kind of going a little, like at a little slant. But with multiplicative, it's going to start jumping drastically. Okay. So let's look at slide 7. Each gorilla at the zoo eats 3 bananas each day. Okay. So what if I don't have any gorillas? They don't eat any bananas. So then it's 0, 0. What about one gorilla? We said he eats 3 bananas each day. What about 2 gorillas? Well, if each of them eats 3, then they're going to have 6 total. What about 3 gorillas? Okay, if 3 of them each eat 3, they're going to, in total, eat 9. Okay, so our equation is going to be 3 times the amount of gorillas equals our number of bananas. Okay, so 3 times the number of gorillas is the number of bananas. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and put on some dots. First, our first ordered pair is 0, 0. So I go over 0, up 0, so it stays on that origin. Over 1, up 3. Over 2, up 6. Over 3, up 9. Notice how it follows a pattern. Okay? Pause this video at any time. All right, Mike has 6 times the number of trains that Tony has. Okay, so if Tony has no trains, then neither does Mike. What if Tony has 1 train? Mike has 6 times this, so then he has 6 trains. If Tony has 2, Mike has 6 times this number, then he has 12 of them. If Tony has 3, Mike has 6 times that, he will have 18, my bad. Okay, so our equation is, and we're going to use these variables, that we have 6 times the amount of trains that Tony has. It's going to equal the amount that Mike has. Okay, so I will write that in. 6 times the number of trains Tony has is the number of trains Mike has. Maybe that's not high school trains. Okay, let's put on some dots. 0, 0. 1, 6, over 1, up 6, over 2, up 12, over 3, up 18. Okay. Notice this is multiplicative. It starts at the origin. All right. So here is our last thing that we got to do. We have to organize our tables, graphs, and equations into multiplicative and additive. Okay, so let's start with this one. This one follows the y equals something x. So let's look which one has that same format. Multiplicative. So that's going to be in multiplicative. This one looks just like this one. Multiplicative. This one I can tell is adding something. And this one I can tell is adding something. Very good. Okay, let's look at a table. How do I get from 8 to 16? I can add 8 or times 2. What happens here? 10 to 18. Well, times 2 would be 20, plus 8 would be 18. That is additive. Okay, make sure it works throughout the whole table. How do I get from 2 to 22? Okay, either plus 20 or times 11. Looks like each of them are multiplying by 11. That's multiplicative. Okay. Let's go ahead and have you do those two on your own. All right, let's look at the graph. Okay, looking at the dots, where does it start? Okay, this one starts at 0. We want to see which relationship starts at 0. Multiplicative, additive. All right, looks like multiplicative starts at 0. That's what we want. Let's look at this one. Does this one start at 0? No, it doesn't. We know multiplicative starts at 0, so this would have to be additive. Okay? All right. You're responsible for the last 4 on your own. You got this. Go ahead and submit it to me when you're done.